Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today I'm going to explain to you why Liverpool are throwing it all away, and Klopp's not really changing it. And let me explain all that to you. Yeah, we are doing Liverpool against Crystal Palace. With my over 20 plus years of coaching experience and doing vast things in the old football-y world, I give you a breakdown so hopefully you can become a better coach, understand a little bit more about the old footies, the balls, and maybe you don't make the same mistakes as a player, or you can identify it as a coach and change a couple of things if you're coaching a team. Now, Liverpool are playing against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace are a good bad team. They're a terrible team. They're kind of like United in the same way. They're a terrible team, but they've got firepower up front, and if you do dumb things against a good bad team, they'll beat you. So what do United do and Crystal Palace do that is similar? Right. United play with 5 along the back. Well, they don't. They play with 4 and Casemiro sitting in front of them. They do a little bit differently because they play with 5. Right. Then what they both do is they have 5 players forward. Think of it as 2 halves of a team. There's one half up here and a second one back there. Right. That's pretty much what they do to make it hard for you to play through the lines. If you play through their little, 5 players, great, and then they'll defend it very well with their 5 at the back. So it's what we call like in a cheating system, and you can see, look how much space there is, except for you can't go wide because they've got 5 along the back. So to get in behind them out wide is very, very difficult, right? So there's a couple of tricks, and I'm shocked that Jurgen Klopp doesn't do it. I'm not shocked, actually, because I know how. So the problem Liverpool have trying to build up or play out of the back is all the players are facing their own goal. So everyone here, when they've got their 3, they had their 3 little players up front doing their thing. Salah was out wide, the other little kiddie was out wide, and the guy up front. But they're all facing the ball, and they can't run in behind, because if they start to move that way, this little line of 5 drop off, and they've got the numbers. And they've got their 2 defensive midfielders in front of them, and the 3 guys tucked back in, and they all sit there happily ever after and let you have the ball and knock it about and do what you want, because you're not going to break it down. However, if you're trying to pass around in your half, maybe the 3 will step up here and pressure with the 2 and have their line of 5, and that's what they're going to do. Now, why I've got this clip up here and I'm showing you this right here is so I can actually try to show you. So there's the 5, there'd be the 2, and that would be the 3. Can you see how they're kind of disjointed? But that's not the point of what I'm trying to show you. When a team is doing this and they're playing 5 across the mid, they're doing certain things, there is a point of space. And the point of space for Liverpool are right here in this area here. And in fact, it's right there on the other side of the field. It is not out wide. You don't really want to be out wide. You really want to be in between these 2 players and that player there to make these players move. So what ends up happening is if you do that, one of these players has to come to you, and if one of these players steps towards you, you open up the space and now you can get behind. If you do not do that and you keep going behind them, that's what they want, and that's what Liverpool were doing. They all 3 strikers forwards needed to just don't play up front, because that would mean they would have 5 players up there marking 0, and you drop all your 3 back into midfield, and what you do is you face them. So you're running with the ball. So when you pick the ball up from a pass, you're actually running at the centre-backs. You're running at them. You're not trying to receive it where they've got numbers up. There's 1 of you and 2 of them. So what does that mean, 1 of you and 2 of them? Each space in between the 1 and the 2 and the 3 players would be 1 Liverpool striker, 2, 3, and each time 2 of their defenders could harass you. You just drop off. All 3 of you drop off, and you drop down, and you make sure with these 5 that are pressing here, you've got 10 players here instead. And then what you do is you can play your little 1-2, and then you attack, and you go straight behind their back line. You play the 1-2 in this third here, in this area here, or here, and you play the 1-2 into the space back there. That's what you're looking to do. That's how you break down a side like this. You do not have your strikers trying to match them up front, because they have 5 players and you have 3. Is 5 more than 3? Yes, the 5 will beat you. What you're hoping then is from a bit of brilliance of skill or passing or something like that. No. Drop your 3 back, overload your midfield, make it really easy to pass the ball, and then just beat them. It's with a simple 1-2. That's all you have to do. And the other funny thing is when you do that with a bad coach who doesn't know what you're doing, the 5 players will end up not marking anybody. and they'll end up trying to do something silly, and they'll end up pressing, and they'll create more problems for themselves, which is fantastic. But Liverpool didn't do any of that, and they got punished. But I want to show you this goal from Crystal Palace because it's quite good. Let's get into that. Okay, so everyone's going to blame Ibou Konate and all the other players. It's actually 100% this guy here, Curtis Jones. he was the problem for Liverpool all day. I don't know why Klopp kept him on the field. So what I was trying to describe in the system of how to beat a team like a bad good team. So they're good, but they're a bad team. They're waiting for you to have the ball and then punish you when you make a mistake because they've got quality up front. Same way as Man United play. They're not going to dominate the game. They're going to hold and hold and hold. But if you make a mistake, they're going to punish you for it, right? Now, Curtis Jones is a runner. He's not a dribbler. He's not. What I mean by a runner, he's going to run around and pressure the ball. That's where he's good at. That's what his game is. Doing the doggy, doing the hard work. Just like who's that other kiddie? They've got that little short kiddie they plays from as well. The best player they could have had in this position was that Gravenberch kiddie, because he can dribble with the ball, and when he's dribbling through, because there's so much space up in that area, he would be fantastic. But Jones is lazy. That's his player there. Why? Because his midfield, there's 1, there's 2, that would be 3, that would be the diamond. That's exactly where he needs to be, and he's on a walkabout. Why does he need to do that? Because he doesn't. You don't want your centre backs getting involved when your centre midfielder, Curtis Jones, can be coming to do that job. That's what he needs to be doing. And if you look, there's that little kiddie Diaz, I keep forgetting his name. There's the left back. In the middle there should be a Curtis Jones. Can you see him? Yep, there he is. He's up there, not in shape, not in position. Completely and utterly wrong. That's the problem. If you look at the whole Liverpool team right there as their lineup, there's one player missing in this lineup, and it is right there. Curtis Jones. That's where you need to be. What ends up happening is, so if you're a right back and you're pressuring, okay, this is really well done actually. If you're right back and you're pressuring the ball, fantastic. The person that's supposed to cover is the defensive midfielder. In a 4-4-2, it'd just be the one on the whichever side bump. In this way, it's the little Endo kiddie, and he's coming into there. The centre back doesn't go out there. You do not want your centre backs running out here, because you want your centre backs to stop the ball in the middle, right? So everything works perfect. There's the defensive line. What have we got? We've got our midfielder. He's come back, Endo. He's come back in and tracked. We've got the other one, McAllister. And no Curtis Jones. He hasn't even bothered even run back enough to be on the screen. Yeah. So, of course, he can't go because he's blocking the front post. He can't go. He can't go. They're all marking players. Well, should he be blocking the front post? Yeah, kind of, because the ball's too deep. Right? He can't really come back and mark this player. Even though, can he? Yeah, but he can't really. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place. The person that should be doing it isn't even on the screen, not even close, and it's a tap-in. Bosh, it's that simple. Yeah. Most people will be blaming Canate or Van Dijk for not coming over and covering. You know why? Because they don't know anything about football. The only person there that's not in their shape is Curtis Jones. The only person that could have come back and tracked and not created another problem is Curtis Jones. That's what he should have been doing, because his other 2 midfielders came back and did their jobs. Now, here's the other point. If Canate had gone out wide to pressure the ball or come back and covered, there still would have been space, because Canate would have come out of the space, which would have created the space. So instead of the ball going backwards to the guy, he could have just put it square and he could have run onto it. So let me just explain that. If Canate comes over here to mark the player and he runs out here to mark him, what he ends up doing is leaving that space so the ball doesn't go here, it goes to there, exactly where Canate came out from, and that's where the guy scores anyway. Van Dijk can't get across because it's just too far. Yeah. So the only player that really should have done his job, and you can have an old argument and say Luis Diaz should have covered for Curtis Jones just as much, and he should have come back in and covered. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But it is not the defender's fault. It is not the defensive midfielder's fault. It is the strikers not coming back, or in this case, Luis Diaz or Curtis Jones not doing his job properly. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.